Hey guys, Centurion here at ESO Vault, and today I'm going to take a look at some gameplay from IGN, and that's of the Trickster vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Depending on what vocation you select. Most of these are the kinds of archetypes that you'd expect: melee sword fighter, speedy dagger-wielding thief, ranged archer, and spell-slinging mage. And some are hybrid vocations like Mystic Spearhand and Magic Archer that combine elements of one vocation with another for a completely new style of play. But what of the Trickster
Mystic Spearhand and Magic Archer are two of my top picks for a vocation. I'll tell you what my third one is at the end.
45-second look and a short
it's not the
description
Trickster, I'll tell you that, but that plays
Fortunately,
into
as
it.
part of our visit to Capcom, we got to sit down and play with the Trickster for about an hour. And I can confidently say that this is a style of gameplay unlike anything I've ever seen in an open-world action game. To start, the Trickster is essentially a pacifist. Their chosen weapon,
I have to say, this has got to be the most innovative and at the same time the most bizarre idea I've ever seen in a fantasy game, period.
Enemies' attention towards you. To that end, you also have a special ability called Suffocating Shroud that sends out your smoke in a wide area and draws a large amount of enemy attention towards you. So, the question is,
I love the concept of drawing enemy aggro when I have no means of defending myself whatsoever.
That's where the word Trickster comes into play. By using the Trickster's unique skill, Effigial Incense, you create
What's
a
in that
simulacrum,
incense?
or a
Something
clone,
Walter
for
White and
simplicity's
Jesse
sake, that
cooked
enemies
up?
will perceive as the real you. This clone has its own health bar and will disappear if it's killed, but you can also teleport the clone to you while it's still alive with the press of a button. This way, you can basically kite enemies to wherever you want as long as you keep their aggro and keep your clone alive. So, you can maneuver.
I can tell that keeping that clone alive is going to be a skill that has to be acquired for this vocation to be effective.
Uneven surfaces, or
maybe you want to run
elements in the
enemies off a
environment
cliff
that
that's a
can use to your
long way
advantage.
off,
The
or maybe
Trickster
just
has
run
two
them around the
abilities
bases,
designed
keeping
around
them
creating
busy while your
surfaces
pawns
that aren't
attack.
really there, but appear real to enemies. The first, Tricky Terrorist, creates a cloud that can be placed off a ledge that the enemy will perceive as real solid ground. And the second, Elusive Divider, will create a wall of smoke that you can see through, but the enemy cannot. The final piece of this puzzle is the Visitant Aura, a technique that essentially allows you to make an astral projection that you can freely move around to scout the landscape for as long as your stamina will allow. You're super
I think that aura that scouts ahead is going to get a lot of use when resources are low. If I'm on my last legs, I don't want any nasty surprises.
Ascend or descend at will, and even call your clone to wherever your projection currently is. I'm sure you can probably see why that might be useful. When you combine all of these tricks together, the real value of the Trickster comes into view. Before getting into a combat encounter, you can create a clone with Effigial Incense, use Visitant Aura to scout out an area for enemies and look for any sort of environmental hazards, like a cliff for instance. Recall your
I'm going to
clone
send
so
that guy to
hovers
look for
over
a
said
convenience
environmental
store. I
hazard,
hope he comes
place
back
a
with
false door
cigarettes and
underneath you with
beer.
Tricky Terrace,
Hey,
and
get me
lure
some
enemies
beef
close
jerky
to the
while you're
clone
there.
And use Suffocating Shroud to send all their aggro towards the clone, and then watch with glee.
That guy jumped like he thought it was a swimming pool. He's fucked. That Tricky Terrace is like a spring break balcony. That's terrible. I'm such an asshole.
Situation, which is why the Trickster is also equipped with some other tricks up their sleeves. First and foremost, they are a support class, relying on and substantially buffing the strength of their pawn party so that they can do most of the heavy lifting. One such buff is Aromatic Resurgence, which supercharges your party, making them hit a lot harder. While I was playing for gameplay,
I love it when this guy gets that sensor spinning. Better hope that chain doesn't break. That thing just takes off and hits one of the pawns in the head, knocks his ass out.
The most powerful spell I saw of the Tricksters was Dragon's Delusion, which takes some time to cast, but brings forth an illusion of a dragon that terrifies any enemy that sees it, even large ogres, bringing them down to their knees.
That's pretty cool.
Giving your pawns ample opportunity to do big damage. Since most of the Trickster's other skills seemed well suited for dealing with small to mid-sized enemies, this was a really nice addition to see as something that could also let them deal with the bigger and badder enemies. The Trickster was not an easy vocation to figure out in just an hour's time. It took me a little while to
That's what happens when they catch up with you.
Pulling too much aggro and not having a way to get away from the enemies I just
oh, right in the face.
Clicked,
this is the guy that made Bobby jump off a cliff. I'm going to kill him.
One of the core tenets of Devil May Cry's combat. It's not just about
hey, see if there's a goddamn Walgreens around. Give me some bandages.
Every enemy in the
I'm bleeding out here.
It's an intentionally underpowered vocation that's designed to encourage
With
creative
what I
thinking
know
to
so
solve
far, I
difficult
can't
combat
see
problems
playing
in
the
ways
Trickster.
beyond just swinging a
What I
weapon
do
or
see
hurling a
playing
tornado
is a
at it.
warfare
And it's
and
one that I'm
using
very
some
excited to
Trickster
experiment more
abilities.
with
I
once
want
I've got
something
my
like a
hands on the
magic
full game.
archer that can
Thanks
also
for
whip
watching,
that
and this is
sensor
just the
out and run
beginning
some
of our
guys off a
IGN first
cliff.
coverage of Dragon's Dogma
Take
2.
out the bow and
In
start
case you missed
taking
it,
down the
make sure to check out our
stragglers and
18
switch to
minutes of
daggers
gameplay
and go in for
covering
the
4 of the
kill.
vocations,
Something crazy
and for
like
everything
that.
else,
Am I
keep it
onto
here
anything
on
here?
IGN.
What do you guys think? Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this.